Hey, Catherine, you're back. All right. So from the beginning. Okay, Catherine.
Hey,
Okay, Catherine, very nice. I want to say something here because it may clarify something. For me, there are three aspects to Tai Chi, but they're the same three aspects that you find in any art. There's a science, there's an art, and there's a craft. Now, unfortunately, when people study an art, whether it's singing or painting or movement, they tend to focus on the art and they sort of forget a little bit about the science and they really forget about the craft. But think about something like woodworking, which I do a little bit. A woodworker is creating a joint of some kind between two pieces of wood, two pieces of oak, let's say, or beech. And if he's just a beginner, that joint's going to be a little so-so. He doesn't really understand the science of it, and his craftsmanship is so-so. As he gets better and better until you get like a Japanese woodworker, his joints, his or her joints, are beautiful. They put them together and you go, I don't believe that a human being could do some. The craft is so effortless and simple and perfect. It's kind of unbelievable. All right, when I was watching Catherine there, I knew that she had been practicing. All right, and where it's really showing up for me, for my eyes, is in craft. She's developing a nice sense of craft. And that's an aspect of Tai Chi that's really important to pay attention to. The science part of Tai Chi takes a lot of years to understand. It just does. Does for everybody, even somebody like Matt, who's just joined us, right? The science part of Tai Chi takes a long time to get. The art is something you just develop over time as it comes out of your soul. So it develops along with everything else. But something you can really focus on that will promote your personal growth in this art is the craft part of this. And I don't know how to say it other than that. So when I was watching Catherine, I really felt a sense of someone who is working on the craft part of this. Catherine, I don't know if you think of it that way, if
Yeah.
that if that goes through your head, but that's what I saw. And it's that attention to craft that differentiates between those who are perhaps a little less serious and those who are a little more serious. Anyway, Catherine, very nice. I liked it a lot. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Okay, Jill. Matt, what we're doing is we're just going through the first section of the form two or three times to warm up. Jill's going to lead us on the third one here. Maybe Matt can lead us on the fourth one. Jill, go ahead.
Okay, we'll see where my craft lies.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Good. All right. Matt, introduce us to your little one there. Yeah, hold him up to the camera. Oh, yes. Yeah, he doesn't. He want. We can't hear. We can't hear you. You're muted.
I said, he knows how to make himself heavy. You know?
I was gonna say he's got a good trick going on there, and that is exactly how you do it too.
Heavy old guy. Anyway, yeah.
He just needs not to forget it.
So, I know. Well, you're moving naturally, you know, with your good old root. You know.
Yeah, yeah, a squirmy root. There you go.
But yeah, your show's back on, buddy. If you want to watch it, go check. Or you can hang out in class if you want. I would love you to watch Tai Chi.
Okay, so I want to make one comment, just a little comment. It's not about Jill. It just reminded me when I was watching her. This is a little subtle. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do it here online, but we'll try. I'm gonna put some of my magic dots on. Watch this movement. I'm going to do it wrong, and then I'm going to do it right. Okay? That's wrong. Now watch right. Do you see my arm is not going like this? Say I'm pointing at you, right? So you're the target here, right? The arm is moving, but it's not going this direction. It's going down its own axis. Jill, does that make sense? Next time Kevin comes up, I'll demonstrate why you do that.
Matt is closer.
Yeah, but it's more fun to pick on you. Okay, so imagine this is somebody's elbow, right? And what I'm going to do is essentially throw them using their arm. So I've got their arm here, right? And I'm going to twist it so the elbow is up, and then I'm going to spiral down into their arm. This hand is twisting this way. This hand is twisting the opposite way. What it feels like, Kevin, what does it feel like when someone does that to you?
A lot of pain going up your arm, and then you run away from it and fall on the ground.
Right. You end up falling on the ground. Boom. Right? Now you think, well, you must do that with your arms. No. You do it with this. This is twisting and sinking into the ground, all the way down to the bottom of your feet. All the way down. So you're putting your weight on something. First, you're twisting their arm like it's a dish rag. And you want that twist to catch the elbow. And then you put your weight on it. So I weighed myself this morning, 243. So 243 pounds going down there. Now, when you do this in the form, there's a temptation, because you're doing this movement, to think that it's about this. But you got to get past that. You got to get over that. All right? Maybe a way to think about it is you're doing two things. The first thing you're doing is giving somebody an elbow into their solar plexus. That's one. Now comes the other one. One, two. That's a little mechanical, but you get the idea. It's not this. All that extra curving and stuff doesn't accomplish anything. All right? And then you're going in a straight line. And your arm is twisting because your dantian is twisting. I'm going to use this hand to indicate it. Catherine, is that clear? Watch the tips of my fingers. Your chi needs to go out to the tips of your fingers. Shouldn't be back in your forearm. It needs to be out to the tips of your fingers and actually even further. So you can imagine it's like you're shooting an invisible arm out another 2 or 3 feet. Why? Jill, why?
Because that's where you want your energy to go.
And why do you want your energy to go there?
Because you're doing
Here,
something for somebody.
I'm working on his elbow, and now I'm saying shoot your energy out farther than his arm. Shoot your energy out. Why? Kevin?
Increases the lever arm.
What's that?
It increases the lever arm.
Yes, it's leverage. Now, instead of having a lever arm that's this long, I've got a lever arm that's that long. And that's going to make it much stronger. And you think, oh, that's sort of woo-woo. Come on, can't get anything. You have somebody try it on you, and you will feel the difference. It makes all the difference in the world. When you do that move on somebody, watch this hand, just sort of like this, with a dead hand. So your intention is just on the place where you're touching his arm, right here. Yeah. All right. But if you extend yourself It's much more powerful. You just have much more, you have much better leverage. There's a classic, I think they did this in karate. A lot of Japanese martial arts do the same thing. Your master will have you, this is like in the beginning class, a master will have you extend your arm and then he'll just pull it down. Pull it down, pull it down. He says, all right, he just keeps pulling it down. He says, how are you going to keep it up? You go, I don't know. And he'll say, don't stop your arm at your hand. Keep your arm going out to the horizon, all the way out there. And then he tries to pull your hand down, and he can't do it. Or he has to use a lot of effort to do it. Oh, hold on a second, I gotta shut the door here. We all have these tiny little postage stamp front lawns, but on Sunday everybody gets their power mower out. Honest to God, the lawn is really no bigger than this room. It's about 20 by 20, but but they all have big powerful lawn mowers, except me. I've got a little hand mower just like Grandpa used to have. Okay. Does this all make sense? It will make more sense when Kevin is up here and I can really demonstrate. Okay, let's do one more, just the first section of the form, and Matt will lead on this one. Good. Um, so one more thing on this movement. It's not about this movement in particular. It's about a basic principle that's hidden within this movement. We haven't really talked about it. It's a little more advanced than what you guys are, but I think it's okay to mention it this now. Kevin, you'll recognize this from the video I sent the other day. When you are extending your energy out from your body, no matter what you're doing, you want to do that in essentially a straight line. Now, it's not necessarily mechanically straight, but it's straight in this sense. All the movement in Tai Chi is based on spirals, right? So like this spiral spring that I've got. And when you move, you want to be aware of where the spirals are and where the axis of the spiral is, right? So there's a straight axle of the spiral. And you want to keep that straight because that's what makes it strong. What happens too frequently is rather than pay attention to the axis, people try to do their spirals, but they're bending the spiral. That's probably the most common way that people actually move. So that first demonstration I did, that's a version of that. All right, I'm not keeping the axis. I'm kind of bending around it. And that means the spiral's going to be weak. And if you're wrestling with someone who's good, they're going to feel that weakness and they'll attack the weakness. Also, if you're trying to do something, if you're being yang and your yang is twisted somehow, it's going to be weak. It won't be strong. So your Tai Chi, for those that don't know, your Tai Chi may look okay, but there's no power in it. So look at this done correctly, and I'll turn a little bit so it's straight toward you. It's a straight line from here to my fingertips. Now again, you don't have to get mechanical about it. We're not robots, but still, it should feel like that. And this particular move is a perfect way to illustrate that. So again, here's the wrong way to do it. Uday. All right. Here's the right way to do it. Clear? Now, that's true for every move. All right. It really shows up here. I think it shows up so clearly because it's preceded by this move. And what happens is folks don't differentiate between A and B. They just, all right? Oh, we just run it together. No, it's not run together. It's 1, 2. 1, 2. This, all right? That's a straight line. What is this hand doing? It's up by your breast. Maybe you've got somebody's arm. Somebody tried to backhand you, right? You grab their arm, boom, into their ribs, right under their arms. Boom, all right? That's 1. But that's completely different from 2. Now, what sort of fools people sometimes is they think that in real, it's an unexamined assumption, but they think that the fact that in the form this and then this, that's what you would do in real life, but it's not. You wouldn't do that in real life. Those are just two separate things. The form is like a string of pearls. But the fact that, in the form it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that doesn't mean in real life it would go that way. In real life, you respond to what's happening, not come at it with some set organization, right? So grab, boom, there's one. There's another. But that's not real life. That's the form. Jill, is this clear? Yeah. So don't let yourself trip over that unexamined assumption. Yeah, Kevin.
I mean, having studied martial arts in the past, usually you think you're having one attacker and you're doing multiple actions on one attacker. In Tai Chi, I've had to separate each single thing out to a different person to make it work. Otherwise, it's not going to go that way.
That's right. So what Kevin is saying is, if you think during the Tai Chi form that you are in China, Tai Chi is called shadow boxing. Shadow boxing. You're actually fighting with a shadow, with something that you're imagining. Right? If you think that someone doing Tai Chi is fighting one person, you're wrong. They're not fighting one person. They're actually fighting 8 different people. North, south, east, west, the cardinal points and then the ordinal points. So if you want to think of this as, boom, I just got one guy, boom, now I got another guy, one guy here, one guy here. Yeah, that's closer to the truth. Nevertheless, it might not happen that way in real life. Just remember that the form is not fighting. The form is a training regime. That's all, right? And what it is. All right, let's do one more. I'll lead the final one, right? We'll do one more. Okay, any last questions?
Yeah, maybe on splitting. So if we have straight lines with spirals going around those straight lines and we're doing something like a splitting motion, are we thinking like one primary straight line with spirals and then some that are shooting off of that? Or there's there one that's, that's they're both kind of looking to ride for extreme, for like perfect Tai Chi efficiency, so to speak.
It's it's a little bit like asking someone how to make love to someone else.
Right, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and it's pretty hard to put it into words. The way Master Feng used to explain it, and it's just a metaphor. All right, it's a finger pointing at the moon. Don't pay so much attention to the finger, pay attention to the moon. He would say, in your body, in everybody's body, there are 5 spirals. If you can figure out how to work those 5 spirals, you will have no opponent under heaven. Right? You will be invincible. What are the 5 spirals? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Obviously, that in itself is a gross simplification. But something we were working on a couple of weeks ago is maybe a really good metaphor. This is a very simple exercise. Again, I wish Kevin was up here because this is actually a 2-person exercise, but I'll try to demonstrate it, right? Now, he would be doing the same thing on the other side, and our arms would meet. We're not trying to beat each other up. It's just pop, right? I'm going to pop, and then pop, and then pop, and then pop. Okay, it requires all 5 of those spirals. The truth is, every movement in Tai Chi requires all 5 spirals to be moving at the same time. All right? But you can really feel it in this one, all right? Because you can feel your leg, all right? Your torso, your arm.
Similar to that uppercutting Qigong motion you showed a while back.
Matt, your audio is a little off. What'd you say?
That it reminds me of that uppercutting, like repeating uppercut dantian drill you showed a while back.
Any movement that is similar to that is going to work the same way. I understand why people think Tai Chi is so complicated, but it's not actually. All right? Watch these 2 spirals. It's not this. It's this. Right? Because the center is spiraling, the arm can spiral. I don't really have this on here, right? All right. It could be a forward elbow strike. Right? It's not done with the arm. It's done with the core of the body. Spiral. It starts in the ground. Legs, torso, arm. Now, what about this arm over here? Well, that's spiraling too. It's just, you're not paying that much attention to it. And then the point of doing exercises like that is to get it into your body that's the way we're moving. There is nothing about this movement that's artificial. It's not like somebody, let's move in spirals. No, they just watched the way people move. this is what's effective. I'm going to, later today, I'm going to download a picture of Shohei Ohtani hitting a home run in slow motion. It's beautiful, and it's all spirals. His whole body, even his toes, are spiraling. All right. Now, the truth is very few people get that naturally. You have to train for that. Huh? And he makes it look so easy and so effortless, and for him it is, that you think, well, I'll just walk up to the bat and I'll do it. But you'll notice nobody else is doing what he's doing, in the sense of they're not as good as him. He's got the body mechanics down. All right, so yeah, it's a mental trip in one sense, because you do have to understand it, but it's really about the body, and it's based on the same principles. No part of the body moves unless the Danshen moves. That's true, but it's also code. All right? It's no part of the body moves in isolation. Jill, clear? And you think about that and you move that way and you go, well, yeah, of course, this is absolutely the natural way to move. And it becomes powerful because anything you do, you're bringing all of you to do it. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
You got a sec? If you have Netflix, Kung Fu Panda 4 is coming out.
I actually am not sure I even want to watch it. I'll tell you why.
But if you have kids,
What, Matt? Have you seen it? The same people are not making it,
Oh,
and the reason I think the reason they're making it is to make money, and so it's going to lose that magic that it had.
okay. I'm not going to be there Tuesday. I have a dermatology appointment.
Okay, what's going on?
Well, since I had that basal cell removed, excuse me, I go in every 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they're not going to shave a couple more parts off me, but I don't know until I show up. So it's morning appointment. So
Maybe that's how we all end up going. They just sort of shave us down until we're just completely gone. I've got a spot on my cheek I'm going to have them look at, because
yeah,
it's getting tender, and it's like, why is that there? So
yeah.
um,
And then did you see that email I sent you of Master John doing the silk reeling?
yes, didn't reply to it yet. Yeah, I have a copy of that.
Okay, yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. I saw the one where Brian's narrating it in Golden Gate Park, but this is new to me.
Yeah, that one's being narrated by Tony,
Yeah.
and I don't, it's not very well filmed. It's way overexposed. But some of that is the fact, of course, it was VHS when it was first made. So,
Yeah.
but if you can look beyond the poor production values, you're going to get a lot out of watching it. So, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
feel free to send that my way. Also, thank you for the silk grilling video. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's interesting. It's what I sent it to Kevin and well, you saw it,
Adam as well.
Adam too. It's really interesting. It's a different frame of Chen style than Hunyan. It's called translation into English is practical method.
Yeah.
And it was not done by one of Feng's students. It was done by one of Feng's Tai Chi brothers. So they're on the same plane, and they both learned from Chen Fa Ke. And the guy's name is Hong Jun Sheng. And what he did was analyze the silk reeling at a very high level and include that in the training regime. Maybe that's the core of the training regime. And it makes a lot of sense if you're advanced. If you're not advanced, it's way too much. So I sent it to you guys because I thought you could get something out of it, right? And what we talked about today, moving in a straight line, is really the core of that methodology. So what he's demonstrating actually is a move it's not the same move, but it's a very similar move where you twist in and then twist out from there. But you're not moving laterally. All right? The axis of the spiral is in and then out. And so he's showing you a way what you have to do with your core body in order to manage that. All right. Raise the qua, lower the qua. But that's way beyond where this class is doing. So that's that's sort of like graduate level stuff. But I think you guys can get something out of it. He's got the guy's name is Joseph Chen, Chen Zhonghua. He's got a lot of material up online, and some of it is kind of just a little short. But I've noticed in the last couple of months that he's starting to post longer bits and pieces. So 10, 15-minute things. So that's enough of a chunk that you can actually get something out of it, some training out of it.
His attitude's different now too.
What do you say?
Well, the earlier stuff, he was all about, fighting. And this stuff is all about, the internals.
Exactly.
Which I like. So I don't know. Did you ever know Jane, Matt?
I've heard legends.
Well, she went and studied with him, and she came back and she did the 83 in 5 minutes flat.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. You said
That
she
was
was flying like
crazy.
out of a Shaw Brothers movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but it's not good for most people to do it that way. Back in the day, when masters were younger, yes, they would do it in 6, 7, 8 minutes. Chen Fa Ka did it in 7 minutes. That's lightning fast. So it's fine to do it that way if you know what you're doing and if you are training to be a fighter. But be realistic. Look at our class. How many people in there are training to be fighters? 0. Right? So what can you get out of here? Well, I mean that's really why Feng invented Hunyan. Hunyan was a frame that makes Chen style more accessible to folks like us who are not going to be in training to fight. I mean, my God, you have to do that between the ages of 16 and 26, and that's it. Maybe 30. Nowadays, now they're pushing it out to 36. But when you're a kid, you can fight and train like that, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not realistic for most people that are doing Tai Chi and Qigong. They don't even think about that. They don't want to do that.
Yeah.
What they want is they want to be healthier and they want to learn something about their energy bodies, how their energy bodies work. So this kind of thing, this kind of basic principle, yeah, you can explain it in terms of controlling somebody's arm. But if you learn that way of movement, you've learned a lot about leverage and you've learned a lot about how to do things. So when you go to pick up a heavy package, you're going to end up picking it up in a way that won't hurt yourself and that is more effective to do. And that's what it seems to me like. I know all the guys like to get on there. I want to learn to fight. I want to break this guy's leg and then shove it down his throat, right? Oh, okay, but you know, come on. After after you're about 30 years old, you really don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to get in any fights. But I'd say that.
No, no more.
Yeah, I thought once again, you think you're doing it right, the curvature. But thinking about it this way really connected it to my leg in a way that didn't before,
Exactly.
like upper and lower
Exactly.
body.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, the relationship and my idea was going that way. And as much as I was thinking about opponent go to ground, like I wasn't
Yeah.
going to ground. So yeah, that feels very different. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a tiny little mental change that promotes actually a bigger change. And forget about the Tai Chi. Now you've connected your arm to your leg. Well,
Mm.
that's a big deal, right?
That's a huge deal. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what
Yeah.
it is you're doing.
Right.
Your body is connected in a different way.
Mhm.
And I'm absolutely convinced, guys, that that way of being in the world and being in your body is much more natural than the way we are raised in our cultures. It doesn't matter what culture you're in. You're raised with an artificial form of movement. And and I think it's true in all cultures now, but imagine this is a hammer, right? So it's all about hand-eye coordination. I got to do this, or I got to type on a keyboard. I got to do this. Now, it's not about using your whole body. It's about in fact using parts of your body and isolating parts, and you just become a little machine. And the reason they do it is it works for certain things, but the person who pays the price is you, right? Because you now, if you've been trained that way for 40 years, 50 years, you've completely lost your natural way of moving. And when you grow up in the Midwest, like Kevin and I, you start out that way because they actually, isn't that true, Kevin? All right? There is a way of moving in the Midwest, just like there's a way of moving in China and a way of moving in England and a way of moving in Scotland. And they're artificial. And the degree to which they're artificial is kind of harmful for you. So what I see in Tai Chi and Qigong is a way of returning to our natural animal bodies. The fact that Shohei Ohtani also practices spirals makes me feel good, right? The greats do this too. All right, guys, I hear Annie in there clicking
forks,
which means it's getting almost time to eat, right?
All right, thank you
You
so
guys
much.
have you are welcome. All right, you guys have a great day. All right, we'll see you next
Better
time.
disciple. Bye,
Ciao.
guys.